Hello everyone, welcome to this video series on number system. Today we'll see some moderate to advanced concepts on decimal numbers. So let's I mean the basic concepts we already have seen in the previous series on the introduction to the number system. So today we just revise a few of those and then we'll move ahead with some different concepts. So now decimal numbers we know. Uh, how do we represent any decimal number? So suppose number is if n is given as 1.4364. So this is a decimal representation of a number. Uh, how can we expand this? This we have seen also. So basically, this we can write as 1 into 10 raised to power 0 plus for this on the digits after decimal. What we will say for the 4, let this make this 5 so that all the digits become unique and distinct. So it becomes 4 into 10 raised to power minus 1 plus 3 into 10 raised to power minus 2 plus 6 into 10 raised to power minus 3 plus 5 into 10 raised to power minus 4. So this is a generic way of representation of a number system and this becomes the expansion of the same. Another example I take just to consolidate this point. So here in say suppose another number n that is nothing but say 25 decimal 403 6. Let's this the so this n we can expand. We have seen this 2 into 10 raised to power 1 plus 5 into 10 raised to power 0, right? Plus since we are working in base 10, everything so far we're working base 10 only, so that is why this is the expansion. Now for all the digits after decimal, it will be like 4 upon 10, 4 into 10 raised to power minus 1, which is 4 by 10 plus 0 by 10 square, 3 by 10 cube plus 6 by 10 raised to power 4, right? So this is the general expansion of these terms, and this is the general decimal representation of any number. So with this concept, now we move to the classification of a decimal number. So as we have seen, decimal number can be classified into two, or it can be either finite decimal number or infinite decimal number. What is finite decimal number? This also we have seen that if a number is say 4 by 5, we know it is nothing but 0 0.8, right? After 8 it ends, there's no further digits after 8. So this is a finite or terminating decimal wherein the number of digits after decimal is a finite one, right? Similarly, if we had taken an example of say uh, uh, 5 upon 16, so what it would be? It would be 0.16 3 ja 48 2 16 1 ja uh, 16 4 carry remainder 4 40 upon 16 16 to the 32 8 16 5 ja. So now this is 3125 is the conversion. How did I do? I just simply divided 5 by 16, so it gives 0.3125. So here, and there's no digit after 5, so the number of digits after decimal is finite, and that is why it is called terminating decimal. However, if we see the conversion of say 1 by 3, so it is like 0.3333 and so on. It will never end, it will go on till eternity. So this is an indefinite, non-ending thing. So herein that is called infinite, so it becomes 0.3333 so on. Had it been say 1 upon 9, it would be 0.1010, I think that way, huh? It becomes 1 by 9 would be 0.1010, right? Sorry, 0.1111, it would be 0.1111, that way. We may just divide this and see. So it will keep on repeating. If we see another example, say mm, any other, I mean, let us take 1 by 7. So 1 by 7 again would be, we'll divide this. So it will be 0.14, then 2, 8, 5, 7, 1, 4, 2, that way. So now see, all these decimals, I mean number of digits after decimal never appear to be ending, right? So this therefore it becomes an infinite or non-terminating decimal. So now we'll come back to this finite one. So what are the cases or what are the denominator? I mean here we divided by 5, so we got a terminating decimal. Here we divided by 16, we got a terminating decimal. So basically it is like, since we are working in base 10, so as long as the denominator contains only the factors of 10 raised to power n, then only it will be terminating. It means if the denominator contains factors of 10 raised to power n, that means if the denominator only contains the uh, I mean powers of 2 or 5 or both, then only it will be a, yeah. So in example, if I mean had it been say 3 upon 2 cube, 4 upon say 5 raised to power 4, 9 upon 5 cube into 2 square, then 17 upon say 5 raised to power 5 into 2 raised to power 7. So all these numbers, since they in the denominator they have, or the divisor is only a powers of 2 or 5 or the combination of both, so these will be all a finite decimal. However, if in the denominator there is some other powers of other prime numbers, say suppose, I mean if it is 3 raised to power 7 square, it will be a infinite or non-terminating decimal. If it is a 5 raised to power 5 upon say 11 raised to power 3 into 2 raised to power 2, here in denominator though there is a power of 2, right, but it will not lead to a terminating because it also has a power of 11, which is a, I mean, uh, prime number different from 2 and 5, right? So this will also be non-terminating. Then say suppose this is 101 upon say any prime number, we take 23 raised to power 2 into 7 raised to power 3 into 5 raised to power 3, that way. Though it has 5, but since it also has 23 and 7 ka powers, so this fraction would be a non-definite or non-finite or non-terminating, right? So the basic concept is if the denominator has only the powers of 2 or a 5 or the combination of 2 and 5 only, then only that fraction will be a finite decimal or a terminating decimal. Otherwise, if it contains any other powers of any other prime number, then it's certainly going to be a non-terminating decimal. So these were the basic concepts. Now we'll move ahead. So now we saw that there's a terminating thing and there's a non-terminating decimal. Now even a non-terminating decimal can be of two types. This we have seen basically. I mean, I just move ahead very quickly. Non-terminating recurring decimal. Recurring. I mean, see here we took the example of 1 by 3. Here it came as 0.3333, so on, right? Whereas if we see, so this number 3 is repeating, recurring, right? It's recurring. It's non-terminating because the number of digits after decimal is non-terminating, infinite, and it's recurring because the number is recurring. Now suppose if I take another example, uh, say 1 upon 99. Say suppose, I mean this example I am taking. So if I expand this, it will be 0.01010101 that way. So here what do we see? We see that first thing, it is a non-terminating. Second, number 0 1 0 1 is repeating. So this we can write as 0.01 bar. This bar over 0 1 represents this is a repeating recurring decimal, wherein 0 1 would be repeating infinitely. Here this we could have written as 0.3 bar, right? So similarly, if I take another example, say 1 upon 37. So 1 upon 37, this also if we expand, we will get something like this. It will be 0.027, 027, 027, that way. So here we see 027 is repeating, right? So it becomes like this. This way we can write. So basically, I mean, this is a non-terminating thing, non-terminating recurring decimal, where the decimal is repeating and the number of digits after decimal is infinite. Whereas non-terminating, non-recurring decimal, these are some special cases like square root of 2, square root of 3, I mean, square root of 5, then pi we know, then epsilon, all these special uh, symbols, what we know, these are all non-terminating, non-recurring. This we have seen in the previous session also. I will not go because see, thing is ki this root 2, it does not even, the expansion of root 2 will not even show a pattern, no repeating pattern, and neither it will terminate. So therefore it is non-terminating, non-recurring decimal. So this we have seen actually. And then there's a epsilon also, e, which we use in logarithm. So these things are there. Now here one thing to be noted, this non-terminating, non-recurring is an irrational number, and this is a rational number. I mean, and needless to say that terminating decimal, this is a rational number. Terminating decimal is a rational number because why? Because this we can convert this to fraction. Point 0.8 can well be written as 4 by 5 in the form of p by q, where q is not a not equal to 0 and p and q are integers, right? So and similarly we will see even 1 by I mean point 0.3 bar, 0.01 bar, all these repeating and non-terminating decimal we can convert to a fraction form. We'll see the process, though we have also seen in the previous section. We'll see here in greater detail. So since it can be converted back to the p by q form, where q not equal to 0 and p and q are integers, therefore this is also a rational number. Whereas you cannot uh, do so for root 2. Root 2, I mean expansion of root 2 1.41 something. So that you cannot write in the form of some specific rational number p by q. Similarly, pi, though we write this as 22 by 7, this is not exactly equal. This is approximately equal to 22 by 7. So since this is not exactly equal to any p by q form of fraction, therefore this is not a rational. This is an irrational number, right? So now we will see the process to convert non-terminating recurring decimal in fraction form. So here, see, we'll take different approaches to solve this. Though we have seen a few of the, I mean, basic approaches. So we'll see now. See, the process to convert a non-terminating recurring decimal in the fraction, that is in p by q form. How do we do? N is nothing but 0.6666, so on. So now, as we have seen, we can expand this in the form of 6 by 10 plus 6 by 10 square plus 6 by 10 cube plus 6 by 10 4 10 infinity, right? This is the expansion of any decimal number. This we have seen. Now see here, this is an GP series with the first terms a is 6 by 10, and the multiplication factor, the common factor is nothing but what, 1 by 10, right? Because if you multiply the common factor 1 by 10 with the first term 6 by 10, you get the second term 6 by 10 square. So therefore common factor is 1 by 10. So or the common ratio, whatever you call. So common ratio. So now the sum of the GP would be n which is nothing but the sum of the GP series would be infinite GP is a upon 1 minus r, so it will be 6 by 10 upon 1 minus r, 1 minus 1 by 10, so it becomes 6 by 9, right? So this is the expansion. This we can further simplify to the simplest form of a fraction, which is 2 by 3. So this is method 1, right? This is method 1. Now we will see method 2. Method 2 we will see the process remains very similar. What we will do here, n is nothing but 0.6666. This we have seen also. So now what I do, I just multiply equation 1 with 10. So it becomes 10n becomes, this will be 6.666, that way. Now subtracting equation, so equation 2 minus equation 1 would give 9n is nothing but 6.666 minus 0.666 is nothing but 6. So from here I can write n is nothing but 6 by 9, which is same as 2 by 3, what we have got here, right? So this is another method of solving. This method we had seen in the previous case. Now there's another method also, maybe which we have discussed also, so in the previous session, so I just write here only. So it is like, now see, so this is the way, I mean, we solve using GP series or using a equation. So there's a straight method also, right? Method 3, that is a straight formula driven method, wherein if n is point 0.6666, so what it says, if we convert to p by q form, it will be nothing but this we can write as zero point 0.6 bar, right? So what we do, we write the digit 6, and in denominator it will be the number of 9, it will be 9, I mean, and the number of 9s should be same as the number of digit under bar. So here we have only one digit under bar, which is 6, so it will be 6 upon 1 9, 1 times 9, which is 2 by 3, right? So this is a very standard I mean approach. We need not solve equation or solve a GP series, we can straight away write the answer. So three methods are there. Now this we continue with all the three methods for different examples. So here in, now let us see, here n is 0.131313, so on, right? So this we can write as 0.13 bar, right? So again what happens, see here, this is nothing but we can expand this as 1 upon 10 plus 3 upon 10 square plus again this 1 upon 10 cube plus this 3 upon 10 4 plus this 1 upon 10 5 plus this 3 upon 10 6, so on till infinity. So now see, here are two GP series. First GP series is 1 by 10. First is what? First is 1 by 10 plus 1 by 10 cube plus 1 by 10 5, so on till infinity, plus 3 by 10 square plus 3 by 10 raised to power 4, so on till infinity. So two GP series are here. So that will be nothing but summation of two GP series. So this will be 1 by 10 upon common ratio is 1 by 10 square. So it become 1 minus 1 by 10 square, that is 99 by 100, right? So this becomes rather 10 by 99, the first term. So I mean, what I do, and this second term we can write as 3 by 100 upon, Here the common ratio is 1 by 100, so that becomes 1 minus 1 by 100 is 99 by 100. So this we can write as 1 by 10 upon 99 by 100 is nothing but 10 by 99, and this is nothing but 3 by 99. The summation becomes 13 by 99. This is the answer, 13 by 99. So see, this method is important because from here we get the concept that how do we solve the question. I mean, this there's no rocket science here. We just expand. I mean, point 1 we can write as 1 by 10, right? We know that. Point 13 we can write as 1 by 10 plus 3 by 100. So the same thing we are expanding, and then using that thing only we are arriving at single rational number or of a form p by q. Now, if we see the solution to this problem using second method, so herein it is n is nothing but 0.131313 and so on. So here now, since two digits are repeating 131313, so we will multiply by 100 on both sides, so it will give 13.131313 and so on. So subtracting second from first from the second, it gives 99 n is equal to 13.1313 minus 0.1313 is nothing but 13. So from here we know n is nothing but 13 by 99, same as what we got here, right? Using third approach says ki n is nothing but what, 0.13 bar. So this can directly be written as the digit. I mean, what are the digits? Total digit, that is 13 is the number, right? So that will be numerator, and what will be denominator? Denominator would be number of nines will be same as the number of digits under bar, and there could be number of zero also after this, but that we'll see in a later example. I mean, anyway, this process we have seen in the previous video, but yeah, just for the sake of better understanding, I'm repeating those things again here. So it becomes 13 by 99, same as what we had got here. What are we doing in the formula based thing? We just write the numbers in the I mean, without decimal, that becomes the numerator, and then denominator will have nines. The number of nines will be same as the number of digit under bar, right? So very simple concepts. Now again we will see here. This is like n is 2.131313 so on. So what we will do here, see, so n we can write as 2 plus 1 by 10 plus 3 by 10 square plus 1 by 10 cube plus 3 by 10 raised to power 4, so on till infinity. So 2 plus, again there are two GP series like previous case, right? 1 by 10 plus 1 by 10 cube plus 1 by 10 5. So this will be nothing but this we have seen 10 by 99 in the previous case, and the other GP series is 3 by 100 plus 3 upon 10 raised to power 4, and that so on. So it becomes 3 upon 99. In the previous example we had seen this GP series expansion, right? 10 by 99, 3 by 99. So the same I'm writing here. So if we expand this, I mean, take the LCM, it will be nothing but 99 to the 198, 198 plus 13. So this becomes what? This becomes 211 upon 99, right? So this is the expression in the P by Q form. Similarly, we will solve this using the equation method, wherein n is 2.131313, that so on. So what we will do, since the number of repeating digits are 2, we will multiply by 100. It becomes 213.131313 so on. Subtracting, it becomes 99n is nothing but 211. 213.1313 minus 2.1313 will be 211. So from here n is 211 upon 99, right? Why did we multiply with 100? Because we have two repeating digits. 1313 is repeating, so we'll multiply by 100. This we had seen in the previous session. Then the third method, which is third method is formula driven, which is 2.1313 so on. So this we can write as 2.13 bar, right? So formula says the numerator will be all the numbers in the yeah, without decimal. So 2.13 bar we can write as 213. Without decimal we write all the digits, and denominator what it would be? Denominator will be the number of nines, and in numerator will come back, the denominator will be number of nines same as the number of digits under bar. So we have two digits under bar, 1 3, so it becomes 99. And in numerator, see, we have written 213, there will be minus what? Minus the number which is outside the bar, right? Which is outside the bar. So here 2 is outside bar, so that we will subtract. So it becomes 211 upon 99, right? So this again we will revisit here. So here what we did, we wrote all the number in the numerator. So it could have been here 6 minus the digits which are outside bar. Outside bar is 0. So it is same as here. Same here. 13 minus the digits which are outside bar. So that is 0. Right. So it becomes same, which is 13 by 99. Right. So now we will look at this illustration. Here again n is 2.5131313 so on. So we will expand this. It becomes 2 plus 5 by 10 plus 1 by 10 square plus 3 by 10 cube plus 1 by 10 4 plus 3 by 10 raised to power 5 so on till infinity. So here see what happens. Here we have 2 plus 5 by 10 plus now 1 by 10 square plus 1 by 10 4 plus, so this is a GP series, and then 3 by 10 cube 3 raised to 3 by 10 raised to power 5, and all these are another GP series. So we find the sum of the two GP series separately and then add those. So first GP series is 1 by 10 square plus 1 by 10 raised to power 4. So it becomes, first term is 1 by 10 square, which is 100, upon the common ratio is another also 1 by 100, so it becomes 99 by 100 plus, here it is 3 by 1000 upon 3 by 10 raised to power 5. So first term is 3 by 10 raised to power 3 upon 1 minus the common ratio is again 100 here, so it becomes 99 by 100. So this we can further solve as 2 plus 5 by 10 plus this becomes 1 by 99 plus this becomes 3 by 990, right? This is 3 upon 1000 upon 99 upon 100, so this becomes 3 upon 990. So this if we solve here, NCM is 990, so it becomes 1980 plus 495 plus 10 plus 3. This we will add. So addition we will do. Here it is 1980 plus 495 plus 13. Right. So it gives 2488 upon 990. So this is the answer after solving. So this is a very basic approach. This is very, I mean, we are just expanding the decimal and then getting the sum to obtain the fraction. Now using method 2, we will solve this. Now we see that this basic approach actually becomes a bit tedious when the numbers are actually a bit linear and more complicated. So in this case, the method 2 or method 3 may be more useful. So here in n we can write as 2.5131313 that way, right? So here what we will do, so here we will write 10n is nothing but 25.131313, right? So on. So what we did, first we multiplied the equation by 10 so that we only get the repeating digits after decimal. So now we are getting all the repeating digits out. What happened in the first case? There was one 5 which was not repeating. Only 1313 was repeating. This 5 after decimal was not repeating. So first intention was to bring this to the left hand side of decimal so that the right hand side of the decimal only have the repeating digits. So to do that we multiplied both side by 10. Now what we will do? Now it's like the same thing what we have in the previous problem. After decimal all the repeating digits and before decimal the non-repeating digits, right? To solve this we will multiply this equation by what? By the 100. Why 100? Because we have two digits after a decimal which are repeating. So multiplying this equation by 100 it becomes 1000 n, and this becomes 2513.131313 so on. So here we will subtract equation 2 from equation 3. It becomes 990n is equal to nothing but 2513.1313 minus 25. So it gives 2488. So from here it is n by 24, n is equal to 2488 upon 990, same as what we had got here. So this is another way. Now the third method using formula, which is a direct application. So that is even simpler. We need not do anything over there. We'll simply write n is nothing but 2.51313 so on. So this we can write as 2.513. So 13 के ऊपर we'll have a bar. So 2.513. 13 has a bar because 13 is a repeating digit here. So the process of conversion says we will write all the numbers in the numerator without decimal. So it is 2513 minus what we will do? Minus we will subtract the digits which are not under bar. So what is the digit here? What is the number formed here which is outside the bar? That is 25, right? Upon now here denominator will have the nines. How many nines? Nines will be same as the number of digits under bar. Here two digits under bar, so it will be 9. 2 times 9, and then we will have one zero. That zero will be, the number of zeros will be same as the number of non-repeating digit after decimal. So number of non-repeating digit after decimal is 1. That is only 5 is a non-repeating digit after decimal. So we will have 10, right? So this is, now this formula is a very comprehensive one wherein we have seen the combination of all different varieties, wherein we have a non-repeating digit after decimal. Then there are certain digits which are outside bar. So again I repeat this, the formula is very standard one, and this we will make use of to directly convert a repeating non-terminating decimal into fraction. So what does the formula say? You first write on the digits, of n in numerator, then subtract the number which is outside the bar. Here 25 is outside the bar, so this gives numerator. Denominator will be given by combination of 9 and zeros. How many 9 we have? The 9 will be the number of, same as the number of digits under bar. Here we have two nines because we have two digits under bar, and the number of zeros will be same as the number of non-repeating digits we have after decimal, right? So here we have only one non-repeating digit, that is 5. So here we have only 10, right? So this is the standard approach of converting any digit under here. Mm, and here we get 2488 upon 990, which is same as what we had got in the previous two approaches. So one more illustration we'll see very quickly. See here, method 1 says that n is 2.52 1 3 1 3 1 3 and so on. So this we can write as n is equal to 2 plus 5 by 10 plus 2 by 10 square plus 1 by 10 cube plus 3 by 10 raised to power 4 plus again 1 by 10 raised to power 5 plus again 3 by 10 raised to power 6 and so on till infinity. So again it becomes 2 plus 5 by 10 plus 2 by 100 plus, see here, this is now this term, this term and are in GP series 1 by 1000 plus 1 by 10 raised to power 5. So first term is 1 by 10 raised to power 3 upon common ratio is 1 upon 10 square, so that becomes 99 by 10 square, right? And now the second GP series is 3 by 10 raised to power 4 plus 3 upon 10 raised to power 6 and so on. So it becomes first term is 3 upon 10 raised to power 4 upon common ratio is 100, so it becomes 99 by 10 square. So this will further simplify. This becomes 2 plus 5 by 10 plus 2 by 100 plus here it is like what, 1 upon 990, right? And this is 3 upon 99, I think 00, right? Because here it is 10 raised to power 4, 10, yeah, 3 upon 9900. This if we solve, LCM would be 9900. So this becomes 19800 plus here it is like 495, 495 0, right? And this becomes 10 and this becomes 3. So this we will add, it becomes 19800 plus 4950 plus 13, right? So this is nothing but 24763 upon 9900. So this is using the basic approach. Now we will take the method 2. So 2.52131313 so on, right? So first intention is to keep only the repeating digits after decimal. So to achieve this objective, what we will do, we will multiply n by 100. So it becomes 100 n will lead us to 252.1313 and so on. So our first objective is met, that we arrange the equation such that only the repeating digits are after decimal. So to bring that, to do that, we brought this 0.52 after decimal before decimal by multiplying both the sides by 100. Now this is a standard decimal form. We are in after decimal, the digits are repeating. So what we do, we multiply this equation again by 100. Why 100? Because we have two digits after decimal repeating. So we will multiply this by 100. So it becomes 10,000 n is nothing but 25213.13.13 and so on. So here if we subtract equation 3 from equation 2, it becomes what, 9900n is, now see here, this is like 0.1313 ratio. I mean both the numbers have same thing after decimal, 1313 repeating, here also 1313, so it cancels out. So this is basically 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 minus 11 minus 5 is 6, here it becomes 9, 24961 upon 9900. This is not matching with this, we'll come back, I think there would be some calculation error. Now we will solve this using the direct approach, which is method 3. Here n is 2.52131313. So this is basically 2.5213. 13 is bar because 13 is repeating. So what does the formula say? You write all the digits in numerator, then subtract the digits which are outside bar. So here we will subtract 252 and then divide by what? Now denominator will have the combination of 9 and zeros. The number of nines will be same as the number of digits under bar. So here we have two digits under bar, so two nines. And number of zero will be same as the number of digits which are non-repeating after decimal. So after decimal we have two digits 5 and 2 which are non-repeating, so hence we will have two zeros. So here we can write 3 minus 2 is 1, 11 minus 5 is 6, and then it becomes 11 minus 2 is 9, 24961 upon 9900. So this is same as what we had got here. This thing we will check once again where is the calculation error. So I think there must be some error somewhere. It is like 99, so it means 198, right? Then this becomes okay. For this 2 upon 100 we have not written here, no? This is 198. For this 2 it will be 198. So plus 198. So when we add 198 to this, we will get as 24961 upon 9900. So now we have got same answer from the other three approaches. So what we have tried, this is the most basic approach, method 1. Method 2 is again a very, intuitive approach, and method 3 is a very direct formula based approach and very time consuming. So I think with all these three in the back of the mind, the understanding and the concept behind conversion of any non-terminating recurrent decimal to a fraction becomes extremely simple and easy. So after this, now we will move to another concept, which is the concept of the cyclicity of the digits after decimal, which is known as recurring decimal cyclicity. This actually has a useful what we call similarity with in the remainders also. In remainders also we make use of this cyclicity concept. Cyclicity of remainder uh, of a numbers which are raised to certain other powers. So that we will see on the discussion on remainder. But there also we make the same use of similar concepts, right? So the number of recurring or repeating digits after decimal, the maximum number of recurring or repeating digits after decimal when a fraction of p by q form is written into decimal form, where q is equal to p raised to power x into q raised to power y into r raised to power z and so on, is given by LCM of p raised to power x into 1 minus 1 by p into q raised to power y upon 1 minus 1 by q and so on. By the first reading, upon first reading, it appears to be very tedious, but it is extremely easy. Actually, this is based upon Euler's theorem, which we will use very extensively in the remainder theorem. But since it has come over here, we will discuss briefly what does this say. This gives us cyclicity of any number. So here we say that if any number is in form of p by q, where q p is a numerator, so irrespective of whatever the numerator is, if q is a multiple, uh, q is in the form of, say, first, it is 3 raised to power, say, 3. So the cyclicity of this number, the cyclicity of the decimal or the digits after decimal would be nothing but a cyclicity, let's suppose 5, would be given by the denominator, which is 3 raised to power 3 into 1 minus 1 by 3. 3 means let's make it 2, right? So 3 square. So here it becomes 3 square into 1 minus 1 upon 3. 3 is the prime number, so 3. It is in the form of p upon q is in the form of some prime number raised to power certain other integer. So here it becomes 3 square into 2 by 3. So it gives 6. So 6 is the cyclicity. So this gives maximum cyclicity. Again, we should be the maximum number of recurring digits after decimal, right? different numbers. I mean, since it is recurring, it will go on to infinity. But the different, I mean, that pattern, the cyclicity, that will be maximum 6. It may be even lower than that. That may be a factor of 6, say 1, 2, 3, or 6. But it will certainly be not more than 6, the cyclicity. This is given by Euler's. So suppose the n was, say, any number 4 upon 7 raised to power, say, only 7. So here the cyclicity would be given by denominator, which is 7, into 1 minus 1 by p, which is 1 minus 1 by 7. So it give again becomes 6. So again, this decimal. So if we expand 4 by 7, let us see what are the 4 by 7. So the calculator gives, I mean, since now calculator are permitted in CAD, so we can make use of some basic calculation using calculators. So here it gives 0.571428, again 571428. So can we see the six digits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This number is repeating. So this we can write as 0.571428 bar. So the number of digits after decimal which is repeating is 2 to 4 to 6, 6 here. So this is maximum. In case of say here p is nothing but 2, 2 by 9. So this could have been, this would have been 2 by 9 gives us 2 by 9 gives us 0.2222 so on. So here it is 0.2 bar, right? So here the number of digits which is recurring is only 1, whereas the formula, the Euler's formula had given the maximum cyclicity 6. So what we told, this gives a maximum. It may be a factor of this. Factor of 6 is 1, 2, 3, or 6. Here we are getting 1. Whereas in this case, the Euler gave us the maximum cyclicity of 6, and the actual cyclicity also came out to be 6. So I hope up to this point the concept is clear. We'll make use of the, we'll solve some more illustrations to get over this concept. So now see, the question is find the RDC, which is recurring decimal cyclicity of 1 by 7. So 1 by 7, right? So what is it? I mean, 1 by 7 we can write here. 1 divided by 7 is nothing but, first of all, from Euler's we can say that Euler of 7 is what? 7 into 1 by 6. So this becomes, sorry, 7 into 6 by 7, 1 minus 1 upon 7, so it becomes 6 by 7. So this is 6. So the maximum cyclicity would be 6. Maximum would be 6. Note this point, maximum would be 6. Whereas what would be the actual? Actual, I mean, we do not know. Actual, again, the so best way we is to calculate this. That is 0.142857. Again, 142857. So that is nothing but 0.142857. So here also it is 6 only. So you may wonder, I mean, why do we need a formula to calculate RDC? If at all, I mean, we have to find a, solve the question, I mean, the fraction and get into the decimal form. This is important. This is important because here the numbers are small, but in exam the numbers may be really big, and we may be asked to find the, say, nth digit of this decimal. So in that case, this RDC will be helpful. We will see questions of that nature also. So here we get to know the RDC is 6, which is same as what is given by formula. Now in this question, if RDC of 63, RDC of 1 upon 63. So 1 upon 63 is nothing but 1 upon 7 into 3 square, right? So here we will find the RDC of first 7. Well, we have two primes here, right? What it says, we have to take the, I mean, if it is in the form of p raised to power x, q raised to power y into r raised to power z, it will be p raised to power LCM of the different RDC. We will find the RDC of 7, which is 7 into 6 by 7, which is 6. And RDC of 3 square is nothing but 3 square into 1 minus 1 upon 3, which is nothing but again 6. So, right. So from here, from these two, RDC of 63 is nothing but NCM of RDC of 7 comma RDC of 3 square, right? So this is RDC of 7. I mean, so this becomes NCM of 6 comma 6. So this is 6 is the final RDC. This is the maximum cyclicity. Now a few points to note here. I mean, we have broken 63 into 7 into 3 square. We have not broken this into 1 upon say 21 into 3, or uh, yeah, 1 upon 20, or 1 upon 63 into 1. So that way we have not broken. Why is it so? Because our idea is to obtain a product of two non-co-prime numbers. This we will again see in remainders also. That goes by the name of Chinese remainder theorem. But here the main concept is that we should have a two non-co-prime number. I mean two co-prime numbers. So 7 and 3 square are co-prime, whereas 21 and 3 are non-co-prime. 63 and 1, I mean, so I mean this is same. So as a question, so this becomes irrelevant. 21 and 3 is a non-co-prime because here there's common factor of 3 between these two. So one thing we should be careful when we break 63, it should be in the form of two co-prime numbers, and then we can find this RDC of individual co-prime numbers and then find the LCM. First way, right? Second way, hmm, so second way would be method 2. I mean not very distinct than method 1, but again what happens, I mean 1 upon 63, right? So this we can write as 1 upon 2. I mean prime factorize this. So 3 square into 7, the prime factorization of 63. So RDC would be nothing but RDC of 63 is nothing but the number 63 into, right, 63 the number, so that we wrote here 63 into now different prime numbers. So what are the prime numbers we have? 1 minus 1 upon 3 into 1 minus 1 upon 7. This is what we have written in the formula here. So it becomes 63 into 2 by 3 into 6 by 7. So here it becomes uh, this is 3 times it will go, so this becomes 36, right? So here we get a RDC of 36, here we get a RDC of 6. So again, I mean we need to be very careful here in understanding the comprehension or the understanding of this concept. So from here we get RDC of 36. So why is it different? So it's not different. I mean, see, if RDC of the number using this Chinese remainder theorem or Chinese, I mean, whatever we may call, in remainder theorem, we know it by the name of Chinese remainder theorem, wherein we break the denominator into two co-prime products and then find the individual RDC and then get a LCM. So what we do here, I mean, and using this method, if we find, I mean, directly, wherein this denominator 63 we multiply by the 63 into 1 minus 1 upon first prime number into 1 minus 1 upon second prime number. 3 and 7 are prime numbers here. So here you get 60, 36. See, 6 and 36, when we say RDC of any, I mean 1 upon 63 is 6, it means that numbers will repeat after every 6, 12th, 18th, 24, 30, 36. So here we get 36. So this is not wrong, right? This is also not wrong, both are correct, but this may not be very effective. This is, I mean, more effective than the this 36 number. So what we will do, I mean we will try with both the approaches. We will see which approach gives us the most conservative RDC. By conservative we mean the smaller RDC, because that would be more suitable to us, and that becomes answer. And in almost all cases this method 1 will give the most effective RDC, right? Most effective RDC will be given by method 1 only. So here we have found this 6. I mean, if we say 6, then RDC of 6 can when be also said as RDC of 12, 18, 24, 36 and all. So that way. So hope this was clear enough. Now we will see a few more examples. Herein the RDC of 1 upon 45. So what we will do, we will write this as product of two co-primes, so 5 into 3 square, right? So RDC of uh, 5 is nothing but 5 into 1 upon 1 minus 1 by 5, which is 4 by 5, which is 4. Acha, okay, one more thing here. I mean, and since we know that when the denominator of a number is a 5 or 2, so it always gives a finite, it's not a cyclicity, right? So for 5, so again this concept also we need to be very careful when we encounter 2 or 5 in denominator. We know that for 2 and 5 only the RDC would be, though it's coming 4, but actual RDC would be 1. There's no repetition, right? There's no repetition, RDC is 1. So this actually formula is not valid for when uh, prime numbers are. So here I may note here, except for prime numbers 2 and 5, right? So I mean p raised to power x, q raised to power, I mean here I write p q r x being prime number except 2 and 5. So for 2 and 5 we will not use this formula, right? I mean this is not relevant because we know the RDC of 5 alone would be only 1, right? This will give a terminating decimal, so there's no recurring or repeating pattern here. So RDC we take as 1. Now RDC of, then next is 3 square. So 3 square, yeah, 3 square we will calculate using Euler's. So it becomes 3 square into 1 minus 1 upon 3, which is 2 by 3. So this gives 6. So from here we will say RDC of 45 will be LCM of 1 comma 6, which is 6. So 6 is the answer. Again using the second approach we will just solve to I mean illustrate and consolidate upon the idea. So here in method 2 it gives 1 upon 45 is nothing but 1 upon 3 square into 5, right? So RDC would be nothing but 45 into 1 minus 1 upon 3, which is 2 by 3, into uh, for 5 we do not write anything because there's no cyclicity. So from here we get 30, right, which is a multiple. So this is a larger number, but again here I mean as I told, method 1 always gives a conservative RDC. So 6 is the more conservative, so we will go with this one. No, we will ignore this, though this is not a wrong answer. 30, I mean if 6 is a RDC, so 30 obviously is a RDC. Now we will take another example. Here RDC is 1 upon 143. 143, how can we, I mean 143 is it prime? We check with, how do we check for a prime? We take a square root. So the nearest square root is I think 11. So 11 we check 11 3, yeah, so this is 11 into 13, right? So we will first find the RDC of 11. So that is nothing but 11 into 10 by 11, which is 10, and RDC of 13, which is 13 into 12 by 13, which is 12, right? So from here we can say RDC of 143 is nothing but LCM of 10 and 12. So this becomes LCM of 10 and 12, I think is 60. So 60 the one which we get using this I mean generic approach. Though I mean I can say at this point of time, though we discuss later on, this is not the very effective RDC. we get to learn, I mean, what would be the very effective one. So couple of points which I now write here from here. Okay, if for any, I mean, any prime number p, the RDC would be just one less than p, right? So for any, I mean, for any prime number p, RDC would be p minus 1, right? Here in case of 11, the RDC came 10, and here in case of 13, it is 2. I should write for any prime number p, maximum RDC would be p minus 1, right? So maximum would be p minus 1. There may be a cyclicity which we may get which is even lower than p minus 1, but I mean, certainly p minus 1 would be there. So this is, I mean, one important thing which we got. I mean, this is nothing but the Eulers only, because for a prime p, Eulers will be p into 1 minus 1 upon p, which gives p minus 1 as here, right? But I mean, for Eulers of p is a prime number, it becomes p into 1 minus 1 by p. So from here I can write p into p minus 1 upon p, right? It cancels out, so it becomes p minus 1. So that's it, p minus 1. From Eulers we have derived this. So now again, I mean, some application of this RDC now. What is, I mean, it had the question mean, what is the 24687 eighth digit after decimal in 1 by 13, right? So then it really would have been difficult to find for us. So what we will do, I mean, 1 by 13, we know that RDC is 12 because 13 is a prime number, right? We will see later ki it has a RDC even lower, but maximum RDC would be 12. Now we will expand this 13, right? 1 by 13. So since calculator is allowed in cat now, so you can get this value as 0.076923, 0.076923, so on. So see, idea here is that the maximum RDC was 12, and so I mean every 12th number it will be start repeating now, and we have to find this number. So we will check, I mean, 246878 by 12, what is the remainder, right? So remainder would be 12 to the 24, 0, 68, 3. So remainder is 2 here. So basically we should concentrate on 2, second digit after decimal, right? So if 12 digits are forming a repeating pattern, so the second digit, so second digit is 7. So here what will be the required digits? So required digit is nothing but 7. Though we may say here in actual the 6 digits, I mean, a repetition happens at 6, not 12 in actual, right? But again, we said that this is a maximum, 12 is maximum. We may get even a lower RDC. Now the another same problem, what we will see, 1 by 17th. 1 by 17th. Here RDC, we know maximum RDC could be 16. 1 by 17 we will expand. 1 by 17, what we will get, that is 0.05882 352 352 941, and so on. And when we write this 24678 upon 16, remainder of this will be, let us see what would be the remainder. Sorry, 17. No, sorry, 16. Why 16? Because 16 is the cyclicity. So it becomes 16 1 ja, that becomes 8. 16 5 ja 86. 4 15. So this is like 16, 1 yeah 8, 16 5 yeah 86, 16 4 yeah 64, 4. Here it becomes 15 remainder. So here it is 14th digit. So I mean, then we have to really calculate on this 2 4 6 8 10 11, and the calculator gives only up to this. So let us, I mean, suitably revise this question. Let us make this 0, right? I mean, idea we know, just to, I mean, simplify our calculation. Now we will see what is the remainder. It becomes 8 or 16 5 yeah 86, 4 yeah 64, 4, here 15. So here remainder is 6 now. So sixth digit, so two, sixth digit would be the required answer. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So sixth digit is 3. So required answer, required digit is nothing but sixth digit, that is 3 answer. So that was a generic way of finding the cyclicity of decimal digits. Now we will see some special cases, right? And special cases of those numbers would be number of recurring or repeating digits after decimal. When a fraction of p by q form is written in decimal form, where q is equal to 999, 999, 4 times 9, and so on. Right, so this is a special case wherein the denominator of the fraction p by q, so q will take a value of 9 or double 9 or so on. So if q takes a value of 9, the RDC would be 1, right? If q takes a value of double 9, RDC takes a value of 2. This we just keep in mind. Why am I saying RDC will be 1, RDC will be 2? Because I mean these are special cases. So 1 by 9, if we see, it gives 1 by 9 is nothing but 0.1111, so on. So here, what is the recurring? It is 0.1 bar. So only one digit is repeating. So that RDC becomes 1, right? So now from here we can also further deduce it's not only 1 by 9 for which RDC will be 1, even for the factors of 9. So what are the factors of 9? 3 also is a factor of 9. So here also the RDC would be 1, and we see that it is nothing but 0.3 bar. So only one digit is repeating, which is 3. So that way, when the denominator has 99, it means RDC will be 2. When numerator denominator has 999, it has a RDC of 3. And it's not only that 999 will have a RDC of 3, even the factors of 999 will have a RDC of 3. So like 111 or 37, so those also will have a RDC of 3. This we will see. So say in similar pattern, if there are n numbers of 9 in denominator, so RDC of that fraction will be n, nothing but n. So this is a generic EA. Now we will see some illustrations and explanation of those cases. So RDC of 9 and 3, we just saw that. I mean 1 upon 9, we know it's 0.111, that way. So it is 0.1 bar. So here RDC is 1. If it is 1 upon the factor of 9 is 3. So here also it is 0.333, so on. So it becomes zero point 0.3 bar. So here also RDC is 1, right? So if we have 1 9 or its factor, RDC will be 1. Very simple. I mean, no, nothing complicated here, right? If now see what would be the special case of 99. So 1 upon 99, we know that it is 0.1010. I think that is the one, no? 1 divided by 99 gives me 0.010101, so on. So this is 0.01 bar, right? So RDC here is 2. If it is 1 upon, now factors of 99, what are the factors of 99? How do we calculate the factors of 99? We can write 99 1 into 99, then 3 into 33, then what, 9 into 11, right? So these are the 6 factors of 99. So what on the factors we'd also have RDC of 2, whereas we have seen that 3 and 9 have RDC of 1. So that is fine. Now rest 11, now 1 upon 11, 1 upon 33, all these numbers will have a RDC of 2, right? RDC of 2. So 1 upon 11, if we see, I think it is 0.0909. I just calculate 1 divided by 11, it is 0.0909. So this is 0.0909, so on, 0.09 bar. RDC is again 2. Here 1 upon 33 also it will be same. Here it gives 0.030303, so on. So it is 0.03 bar. Again RDC 2. So very simple thing. I mean, if we have two nines or the factor of 99s, then the repetition will be of 2 digits, right? Here in this illustration, we had seen we had to find the RDC of 11. The users gave the RDC of 10. However, the special case, we know 11 is a factor of 99, so it will have a RDC of 2. So this will even simplify our problem. So now LCM of 2 and 12, assuming ki RDC of 13 remains 12, so 2 and 12 LCM will be 12. So now RDC comes down to 12 from 60. So simplification to a very larger extent, right? So same way now we will see RDC of say 999. So 1 upon 999 or any, I mean, say suppose not only one, I take 4 upon 999. So this also will give it is like 4.004 004 004 and so on. So this is 4.004 bar. Here RDC is 3. So since we have three nines, RDC is 3. Now let us see, I mean, factors of 99. What are the factors of 99? It will have many factors, but let us see a few important ones. So it is 1 into 999, 3 into 333, then 9 into 111. Then again after this it will come what I think 27, right? So uh, I mean, does 7 divide this? No, I think 7 does not divide. uh, 13, 13 we will check. 13 7 are 91, 8, no, 13 also. So 27 I think it will divide. 27 into 37 I think. Yeah, 27, 27 into 37 gives us 999. So these are the one, right? So from here what we can say, key not only, yeah, even, I mean, and now here we know 3 and 9 have RDC of 1, right? So 27, 37, 111 and 333, all these numbers have RDC of uh, 3 now, right? So from here we can say that RDC of 27, 37, 111 and 333 is also 3, because this is a factor of 999. So here these two are very important, 27 and 37. 37 and 27, this will also make use of in the divisibility rules and all. But again, just here 27 and 37 have a RDC of 1. These are important ones, right? So if I mean the any number divided by 27, we have to find say 500th digit. So we can directly say ki cyclicity is 3. So the it will repeat after every third number, right? Digits will repeat in a pattern of 3. So that is it. Now we will see another case of this is also, I mean, quite important case wherein say 5 upon 99999. So here if we find 5 divided by, it gives nothing but 5.000005 and so on. So this becomes 5 point. So repetition here is of 6 digits. So RDC becomes 6, right? RDC is nothing but 6. So we could have directly told that since this is special case of 9 and here we have 6 number of 9, so RDC will be 6, right? And not only this 9 written 6 times we'll have RDC of 6, even its factor will have the same RDC of 6. So what are the factors of 9 9 here? So that we will see. Let us, I mean, factorize this. So here it is 9 divides this 1 1 1 1 1 1. Further it will go by 3 times, or 11 easily it appears, so 11 we will divide 0 1 0 1. Then further by 3, right? So 3 3 ja 9 1, 3 3 ja 9 2, 3 6 ja 18 2, 3 3 6 7. 3 3 6 7 I think could be divided by 7, yeah. So 7 4 ja 28, 5 7 8 ja, and after this 7 no, then next is 11 no, then 13 I think. 13, yeah, it divides. 13 3 are 39, 7 17. So basically now see what are the prime numbers here. So this is basically here, I mean, if we can see 9999, this we can write 9 3 are 27, 27 into 11 into uh, 7 into 13 into 37. So from here we can say that and we know that 27 has a RDC of 3. So I mean RDC of 3 is more conservative, so we will 27 will retain here only. Rest of the prime numbers which are 11 and 11 we know that RDC is 2 because this is a multi factor of 99. So here RDC is 2, right? 37 we know that RDC is 7. Sorry, RDC is 2 for 37. Here 3. So here we know that RDC is 3. So what remains? 7 and 13. So here RDC of 7 and 13 is also 6. Now this may not be very special case for 7 because units also give the RDC of 7 as 6 only. But for 13 it gives as 12. Whereas this special case shows that RDC of 13 is 6. So this is an important observation from here, right? So from here we know that RDC of 13 is 6. So now all the prime numbers generally which we see up till say uh, so from now see 3 RDC will be 1, 9 RDC will be 1, then 11 RDC is 2 because it's a factor of 99. Then after that 13 we know RDC is 6. Then after that 17 there's no other thing, RDC will be P minus 1 which is 16. Then again 27 we know RDC is 3 because this is uh, multiple of, I mean, 1 1 triple 9. Then 37 we know 37 has a RDC of 3. So that way we have, I mean, seen some special cases wherein what is the RDC of all those numbers. So those numbers we can now use that and then solve some questions here. So the question is ki find the 405th digit after decimal in the expansion of 7 upon 481. So number is 7 upon 481. So let us see here. Does 7 divide this? I think no. So now we'll have to check whether 481 is a prime number. How do we check the prime number? We take the square root of 481. This is something around 22, 23. So we will 23 is more than this, so we'll check with all the prime numbers less than 22. So first is 19. 19, does it divide this 19 to the 38? No, it does not divide 488. Then next is 17. 17 we will check. 17 to the uh, is 34, 40, 141. No, it's not divisible. Then after 17, next prime number is 13. Let us check with 13. 13 is 39, 9, 13, 7. Yeah. So it is divisible by, so 481 I can write as 13 into 37, right? So now RDC of 13, we know. What is the RDC of 13? We have just seen here, right? RDC of 13 is 6. I mean, though Euler will give the RDC as 12, but we know even a better RDC, which is 6. And RDC of 37 is what? 37 we have seen here. 37 RDC is 2, being a factor of 111. This is a 2. So from these two, we can say that RDC of 481 would be nothing but LCM of 6 comma 2, right? Because here 481 we have broken into two co-primes, and then we can, so here it becomes 6. So RDC of this is 6. So we know that 7 upon 481, the decimal would repeat after every 6 digits. So the pattern is of 6. So we have to find the 405th digit. So what we, I mean, so for that we will find the remainder of 405 by 6. So it is nothing but the remainder will be 6 is 36, 4, 6, 7 is 42, remainder is 3. So we need to be concerned about the third digit. So now 7 upon 481 we will expand a bit. So that expansion we know that 7 divided by 481, it gives me some 0.01453, then 1 4 and so on, 455, right? So this way, so on. But we know that it will be a, I mean, cyclicity will be 3. So we just need to be the first third, I mean third number from the beginning after decimal. So the third number is this, third digit is 4. So required 405th digit after decimal will be nothing but basically the third digit after starting, because this follows a cyclicity of 6, right? So here it comes as 4. I mean, for smaller numbers, no, I mean, you can direct, if the calculator gives up to, from here we can see number starts repeating from 1. So sorry, here 0, 0, 1, 4, 5, 5, 3, then again 0, 1, 4. So we need not have found this RDC also here, because we can simply, the calculator gives that, I mean, if the calculator gives up to 8 or 9 digits, so 6 digit cyclicity will be captured. But if the RDC actually is higher, as in the case of 17 or something, then in that case, this I mean method is useful, right? So now this is again a special problem. Find the 18th digit after decimal in the expansion of 1 upon 998. 1 upon 998. So here RDC may not be very useful, because if we see 998, it is like 499. I think yeah, and 499 is a prime number, if I'm not wrong. So in that case, then RDC would be what? 498, which is a very high number. I mean, and uh, and 18th digit we have to find. Even calculator will not give 18th digit. So this RDC method is not useful here. So what we will do? There's one thing which we had done in the start of the session today, that we know that this number n can be written as, uh, this is nothing but, I mean, say this is point A, B, C, D, E, so on, right? And if it say assume it repeats after certain a. So a upon say 10 plus b upon 10 square plus c upon 10 cube d upon 10 raised to power 4 plus e raised to power 10 raised to power 5 and so on, right? That way. So basically, and now if we can identify the pattern and then get the GP series, then the way we were converting this into any decimal into a fraction. So we'll try to find out a similar analogy here. So now 1 upon 998, can we write this as 1 upon 1000 minus 2, which is again, if I divide by both 1000 in numerator and denominator also, it becomes, so this is nothing but 1 by 1000 upon 1 minus 2 by 1000. So this is the summation of an infinite GP series where the first term is 1 by 1000 and the common ratio is 2 by 1000, right? So from here I can say that uh, n would nothing be what? First term, second term would be first term into r. So it will be 2 upon 1000 square, because what? I mean, this is a1. a2 we give as a1 into r. a3 will be given as a2 into r, that way. Third term would be 2 square upon 10 raised to power, here it is 10 raised to power 6, so it becomes 10 raised to power 9, right? Plus 2 cube upon 10 raised to power 12, 2 5 upon 10 raised to power uh, 15, so on, right? So what is the first term? First term is point triple zero one, right? 001. Second term becomes point, I write here 2, right? And the third term would be nothing but point zero zero 4 and so on. This way it will go, but the summation would be somewhere. Now see, these three digits, so if we write the summation, it will be 001, 002, 004, 008. This way it will go, because see, if we add the first two terms, it will be point 001, 0, and up till here it is used. Now next 002. Now after, so this becomes a summation of first two terms. After first two term, we'll add this term. So up to the sixth place, the zeros are actually nullified. So what remains is 004. So 004. So this way it will be here the series. Uh, this becomes 016, then 032, and that way. We have to find a 18th digit after decimal. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18th. 18th digit is this only. This I write one more. So this is the 18th digit. So what is 18th digit is nothing but 2. 2 is the answer to this question, right? So hope, I mean, the analogy which we draw is that this should be nothing but the summation of a GP series, and 1 upon 1998, 1 upon 998 we actually simplified to resemble a summation of a GP series, from where we found out that the A would be 1 upon 1000, R would be 2 upon 1000, and that then we basically rearrange to find the summations, and from the respective addition we got that the 18th digit would be nothing but 2, 3, 3, 6, 3, 9, 12, 15, then 18th. 18th digit is 2. So this is also one of the way, I mean, in some of the cases this approach may hit and we may find the solution in a very effective way, because in this case the RDC would not be useful, because 499 is a prime number, and the RDC of 499 would be 498. So that tells that the digits would repeat in 490 after 498. That may repeat, I mean, but again that would be very difficult to find the 498th digit and so on. So That's not possible. So hope this was clear enough. Thanks for watching this video. Any query you can just post right here or even on our website. Thanks for watching.